Hi, this is Christopher Krupp, architect. I'm back with another episode on the barn house. Last time we dealt with this, we left it pretty much at this point where walls and things were in there. I since have added a little bit more, put a bed, some minor things, just to kind of spruce it up a little bit. The whole point of this today is to show you how easily you can add a second level in a building. There's a couple of tricks. One main one, which is keeping all the elements on the first floor. And I'm going to click through this so you can see as groups or components. That way nothing sticks to it, and we are free to manipulate the second floor as we wish without worrying about the first floor getting messed up when we do that. So we'll get right down to it. Make this as short and sweet as we can because it is simple. First thing I want to do is make a tag for this second floor level. We do. It's already in here. If you don't, you can just click plus in the tags menu and add a new tag for your purposes here today. The easiest way to do these things, and the way I did the first floor, I'm going to do the second floor the same, and that's use guides, which is a tape measure tool. And there's a second level that falls over this restroom here and extends out across the whole room for mechanicals. So I'm going to double click with the tape measure tool and extend these walls out till they don't end ever, they go on forever, which is nice to know that if you need to reference something from a long ways away, you can do that just with this tape measure tool and a double click on an edge. We're going to use a rectangle tool, and I'm going to come up a little short. I want to on purpose. Basically, just draw a rectangle right on top of everything, using the guidelines as exactly what they're meant for, as a guide. I want to give this thickness, so I'm going to pull this up 8 inches for a 2x8 floor, which is really plenty for this span. It probably is overkill, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's only 6 feet wide. But once I have this in here, I can manipulate it however I want without worrying about what happens down below. The point of what I just did is it doesn't matter if you get it right the first time, because you'll have lots of time and opportunity to change it as you might want. The restroom has the mechanical space on top of it, which you can see here right now. What I want to do is have lighting ledges, plant ledges, if you will. It's going to have vaulted ceilings in this building, so lighting is going to be something I have to pay attention to. So I do a lot of uplighting, which is recessed lighting in the tops of soffits instead of in the bottoms, sometimes both. We'll pull this out. The lights are 6 inches, so we'll go 16. I'm just pulling that out 16 inches so we have a soffit. Like so. That looks like it's enough to catch this laundry room. Let's just double check, make sure, I'll just line it up. Now that I see it's that close, and that's the nice part about drawing over the top of the first floor directly. You can see exactly what you're doing relative to that floor below. This feels a little tight. This is already tight for a bedroom, so we're limited by an existing building that we were working with. Double click on those corners, those edge corners, and it's going to tell me where I'm at upstairs. And I can click these 2 points and get a guideline. So I'll do that again. You can click 2 points, 1, 2, and it'll create a guideline for you. Any 2 points anywhere. It can be at some weird angle. Doesn't matter. It's going to create a guide. So what are we going to do here? I want to have this soffit come out, say 16 inches from that wall. That's the face of the wall here. Down below, so I'm going to come out 16 inches here too. Trying to decide, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'll just cut this off. I just wanted to think about whether I wanted the soffit to line up with that wall below or not, but I think I'll just do it and see what happens. Whole point of this. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting, chopping, adding to, subtracting from that floor plate that we put in there initially. So as you can see, I don't really concern myself too much with how it was put in the first place because it will be changed. So design as you go, that's what we're doing. Do the same thing over here, lay out that corner, take a tape measure and pick up that point where it penetrates through the floor here. So that's this corner down below. That would mean that this face is this face. So I want this to be 16 inches out as well. So that's not a whole lot of change. Take and draw a line somewhere kind of arbitrarily. Push-pull this back to match that line. So that gives me a 16-inch soffit on this side as well. I think I want to pull this back even more. I want to come back so it matches the corner of this wall. So make sure I'm on that right section. Just going to, again, draw basically an arbitrary surface. Cut that out. Oop. Didn't cut it out. I'll go down. So back here in the kitchen, I want to have the same 16-inch soffit for the cabinetry, the wall cabinets. I guess I'm going to want to have them line up with this corner. We'll see. Pull this out 16. We'll come over here and draw another tape measure guideline. 16 again. So we can bring it out around the corner here. I could probably use follow me to do this, but there's so little to do that I'm just going to go ahead and use push-pull. Gives me a little more control anyway. 16 again. Pull this through till we hit this wall. I just use the cursor to line it up with the wall below, and then just click. So this wall is sticking out a little bit further than the soffit up there. So this is going back down to the first floor plan. Pull this back and line it up with that soffit. So now I'm making changes on both floors at the same time. I won't worry about that corner. I was thinking of chopping this corner off here a bit. Let's do something interesting. Let's do a half round or a quarter round. Let's use a circle. So instead of the arc tool, just use the circle and it came out a little better. Just erase what's left over. You do erase and hold control here. We can get rid of that edge. So now that blends all this together as one face. Or before it was actually two and several smaller ones for the. I go over here to View, Hidden Geometry. That's what that curve is actually made of. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels, if you will, that make up that approximation of a curve. That's under View, Hidden Geometry. Getting close. I'm going to type in a J to remove guidelines, which is my shortcut for edit, delete guides. So you can see it's got a J over here. These are all guides, these are all shortcuts for any tools and commands you might have over here related to them. So if there's shortcuts, they're going to be over here, and I'm going to show you what they are. Okay, so J, that deletes all the guidelines in one shot. So if you use a lot of guidelines like I do, that comes in very handy. There's got to be a beam over here to hold a ridge that's coming over from over here on this other side of this wall. And I'm going to put it in so it matches the top of that soffit. And drag down, let's put 16 inches. I think I kind of like in 16 inches. I'm going to change it to 12 though. Put a rectangle in here. Push pull this across. Match that point. This up here is going to be open from the sunroom here on this side to the living quarters on that side. So eventually that will have to be manipulated somehow, but I want to put it in and get it located approximately. So I'm going to triple click. I don't want to triple click. I'm going to get too much. I just want to get that beam in a separate group. So I'm going to right click group. Well, you can see that that's pretty much the whole thing. I want to put some walls in here for the mechanical chase. And they're going to be set back from the face of the soffit to match the wall below. So we'll go back again and double click on that corner of that wall and drag a guideline out from that penetration point. Go 3.5 inches here for wall thickness. And we'll do the same thing over here. I think I'm going to only make it 8 inches so I get some soffit, so I get some space for mechanicals in there. Otherwise I won't have anything left by the time I'm done. Go 3.5 from here. So the mechanical room is going to have to line up with the bathroom here. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm double clicking on walls below and letting them extend that line. This is with the tape measure tool. So now I know where that corner is up here on the second floor. So drag a guideline off that edge and come back 3.5. That's going to give me a situation here where I need to pull this over to line up with that wall there, so I can get some things to line up here. Initially it was a little bit arbitrary with 16-inch offset for the soffit, but now that we've got it set over the top of the first floor, we can see what we really need to do. I'm going to put this wall in along the edge here with the rectangle tool. Super quick that way. You don't have to draw all 4 edges. Rectangle tool again for the other side. Looking for that red X for the intersection. Okay, guideline over here. Catch the end of the bathroom. And I'll draw another wall up here to line up with down below. I'm going to pull this up 6 feet. Arbitrary number just to get something. I'll have to modify that when we get the roof on. So we'll see how much it takes to get that wall up to the roof line. These are going to have vaulted ceilings on both sides, so the center part is really the only division between both sides other than the wall on the first floor, but this is going to be set back, so it's going to make the space feel bigger because the walls are going to be set back from the walls down below. If it's not going to do that exactly, then I'm going to make it do that. But this is how you figure it out. Erase that intersection. So here, I think I want to have this ledge come around the corner. I'm going to draw a line here across the bottom of this wall. Push-pull this back 16 inches. Erase these extra lines. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Erase this extra stuff. I'm going to copy this. Move Control. Another wall. Oops, wrong direction. 6 feet. I like to clean up the model as I go along, that way I don't have a bunch of extra stuff floating around in here if I can help it. This tree right now is engaged into this wall, and I'm not sure I want to do that. I think, take a guideline here, turn on the hidden geometry, view hidden geometry, and find the guide or the line that is the middle of the tree. So there's another use for the hidden geometry being on. You can find the particular points along a circle, because as you probably know already, a circle in SketchUp is not a true circle. You can see that these are facets. So there will be edges and points, endpoints, and all that stuff that you normally would find on a circle. Well, you wouldn't find them on a circle if that had true curve, but they only can approximate a true curve in SketchUp. So I'm going to pull this over. I think that, yeah, it's a 12-inch tree trunk. So I'm going to go over here, 12 again. 12 this way, just in case I want it. I'm trying to get this to work out so it looks right. It's the kitchen soffit. I think I'm going to pull that back even with the living room one here. So I couldn't be doing all of this moving without messing up the first floor if the stuff on the first floor weren't groups and components. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up a wall jog here over the kitchen. Well, in this corner, line this wall up again. I want to make more space up here for the utilities. This building's got a slab on grade, and so plus there's hardly any space on the first floor for a furnace or a boiler. It's just difficult to run ductwork and concrete. So we're putting everything up overhead. Not to take up any extra space and to avoid spending extra money on something that probably isn't really necessary. Bring this around to that corner. I want to wrap this around this way here. Yeah. So rectangle tool again. Drawing these walls. 6 feet. So now we have a soffit that kind of goes around that corner, a nice curve. That should be nice. Here, I want to use this space as part of the mechanical room. So I'm going to push-pull this out, make it part of the mechanical room. So we have plenty of space up here. Pull that line out. I want to close the space for the mechanical room so it's fireproofed. So I'll draw that wall line in there and drag it across. This wall is part of the outside. It's going to have a gable or some kind of wall line across here. So these walls will just butt into it. So they're going to end just like I've got them. So we'll leave that alone. Put an opening on this wall for a door. So for now, I put it on the side. We'll go 4 inches and we'll go 30 inches. No, we'll go 32 inches. It's almost the whole space. Or go 5 feet. Draw a rectangle. It's not a true door. It's going to be an access door. Push, pull, align with that top edge. Oops. So just click once you see that those two faces intersect with each other. And you're good. So this will be an opening for mechanicals and just to get to the ductwork, if you will. Get rid of these guidelines. It's too much to look at. The only thing left to do here, beyond deciding what I want to do with this, is to put groups and components in here, or just to group this and tag it. So we're going to want to be able to turn that off and on when we have an opportunity to get into other parts of the model, and this is in the way. So at the crossing window, I'm going to run across the whole vertical stuff. Okay. Then I'm going to take and run a couple of windows, make sure I pick up the bottoms of these walls. I want to make sure that all of these walls are on the same group and tag. I might be making this a little more complex than I need to, but I just kind of like to keep things organized if I can. This will turn into a group. Right-click, make group. And once it's a group, we'll tag it as loft level. We have the tag already set up. Loft level. I think I want to make the whole thing one level, one tag. So we'll pick all this with a crossing window, essentially horizontal, perpendicular to your camera. Just do a crossing window, so from right to left, dashed line crossing window. Okay, so I want to make sure that tree is part of the first floor group, and it is. I want to group the walls and the second floor, second level together, so I'm going to make a window around all this. Make sure I picked it all. I've got everything. Need to get the rest of this soffit. So holding control to pick more stuff, add to my selection. You can also use shift if you like. I tend to use shift and control. Now I'm going to right click on this and make it a group. Now we're going to take that group and put it on loft level. It should disappear. Missed this part. We'll put it in. This is the part that was at the bottom of everything. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to make that all a group. And I'm going to Control X to cut it. And I turn the loft level back on. Okay, so now that we've got this second floor turned into a group and put on the loft level tag, we're just about done. Nice part with this is now I can turn the loft level off if I like. If it's in my way, I don't want to work on the first floor. So in order to get that to work for me, I want to go to the 3D plan, and that's still good as it is. I'm just going to update in case of kind of thing. I'm going to turn on the loft level and make another update here on loft. Update. So now I should be able to, there you go. So new floor plan, plan 3D, loft. So depending on what I'm working on, I can have different portions of this on. I still have the opportunity to go in here and change things. I'm going to just take a look, see if I like everything that's in here. I'm thinking that I would like to put some kind of a slot in this wall, just shallow for display. I'm going to double click to get into this. It says untagged, which is fine because what's tagged is the group, not the wall. Pull this over. Let's use our famous 16 inches. Let's go 24. Take the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. Push this through, kind of like that. I'm going to just take a guideline, find the midpoint, draw this rectangle in. Push pull that back, 12 for the recess. Now we got these little alcoves in the wall up here that I was looking for. Something to create a little relief and make the bedroom a little more interesting. And if you remember, we moved this up 20 feet, so I'm going to move it back down 20 feet, put it back in place. 20 foot, 0. Okay, so it's back where it started. I may fiddle around with those yet a little bit more, but I'm using space that really wasn't necessary in the house. So we now have some interesting details, which is what I tend to like to look for. Give people a little bit more than what they thought they were getting. Back to the loft plan. Make sure we have what we want. Not critical right now that it's perfect by any means, but we're pretty close. But you can see what's happening now. You can see some of the things that you could do, like this rounded corner. Sometimes that stuff just disappears on 2D. There's something over here I think I may still want to do something with. So thanks for coming by. I hope you have a great day.